Ladies, I am so upset today that I literally had to meditate and calm myself down before coming in here and doing this video for you. I keep hearing about women paying men to be in relationship with them, and you are doing this in so many ways other than just the obvious and not even realizing it. And then when ish hits the fan, then you come to me and you're like, well, can you fix this now? So let's put this out there one more time. We've said this literally thousands of times, but someone out there needs to hear it. Stop paying men to be in relationship with you. This only attracts predators. In fact, it activates the natural predatory tendencies inside every man, okay? Even good men have that dark masculine predatory nature. This is why we like them, because we know that they can kill spiders for us. We know that they can kill, the bad guy. But if you activate this by literally serving yourself up on a golden platter or offering him any sort of money or anything before he has committed to you, or even after, I have three ways that you do this that just makes me so mad, okay? Number one, splitting things, getting into transactional relationships. You'll get this, I'll get this, Venmoing money to men, 50-50 dating, 50-50 marriage, 50-50 anything. This is not how men and women fall in love. This is not how we pair bond. Transactional relationships do not help you pair bond, okay? They just don't. So quit trying to do 50-50 relationships. No sharing anything, no like 50-50, okay? That's one way, like literally offering up money. The second way, and this is a big one that's going on right now, and you don't even realize that you are paying men to date you, is offering up sex as like the first thing, okay? Going home with men after, partying at bars or lounges or clubs or wherever else you're picking up men, right? Or they're picking you up. Going home and with men, one night stands, girlfriend, boyfriend relationships. I don't know what the hell it is. Please show me anywhere in evolutionary history where that makes sense. Show me any religion where that's a thing. Show me anything, any place where that matches psychological or evolutionary history for how Homo sapiens have evolved, okay? Fake relationships, sleeping with men, is you paying them. So you go and you sleep with men in these fake relationships or one night stands, and then you complain that, oh, he's not marrying me, I don't have the ring. Why should he marry you? First of all, you've already proven yourself to be super low value, and you've already given up the most prized parts of you and what women offer. Like, your womb is not a dumpster, okay? You're already offering all of that up. Now he doesn't value you. He already got the goods up front. Why is he going to marry you? And actually, we should thank you for your service, because now you're actually uplifting men who are taking your sexual energy, building themselves up, having more confidence. The more women a man sleeps with, the more confident he has, right? Like, the more he's robbing and stealing your sexual energy so that he can go build for the woman that is his dream woman, the woman he's going to eventually marry. So thank you for your service, right? And what did you get in return? What did you get for that? Like, why are you doing this to yourself? You're degrading your body. You're messing up your emotions. You're messing up your hormones. You're making yourself more likely to get STDs, all of these issues. You know that when a woman becomes sexually active, her medical needs go up, right? Like, there's more tests that you need to have done. There's more things that can go wrong with your health now. Like, why are you doing this for men that are not your husband? He hasn't claimed you. He hasn't taken you as his legal spiritual wife. He hasn't made vows to you that he is accountable for your well-being, for any offspring that is created from this union in public, right? Like, there's accountability that men have to face when they do this in public. And you laying down with these men and giving up your body and then trying to play like you're high value, like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Stop doing that. Stop paying men to be in relationship with you. If you don't realize, this is you paying them. You think that if you give up the most prized thing that you have, your purity, your body, your soul, like, sex is a spiritual act, okay? And you're inviting all of these issues into your life now in hopes that he will one day marry you. No, ma'am, that's not how it works, okay? Men have always had to work really, really, really hard for this. This was like literally the last thing on the table, the last thing. Okay, wedding night, like after everything's signed, after the ink has dried on the paperwork, that's when they got that. Okay, and before we had legalized marriages, we had tribal marriages. We had like there was a ceremony in front of all of the tribe members where the man was now held accountable, that you are his wife. He is responsible for your well-being. He's responsible for feeding you. He's responsible for providing shelter. He's responsible for taking care of your children. Okay, you're not getting any of that, and you're just like literally giving up your sexual energy so that he can build himself up for someone else. So that's the second way. First is money. Second is giving up the goods, okay, without him being your husband, without any sort of legal, public accountability, nothing. Okay. Third is this thing that women do, and I think this is more common in my culture. Let me know if other cultures experience this too, but this is definitely, oh my God, I know Indian, Pakistani, Middle Eastern communities really struggle with this, is when you marry someone and the man moves in his family with him, his parents, his siblings, and all of a sudden you are now their maid. You are cooking and cleaning for them, you're picking up after them, you are, taking care of them when they're old and sick and all of that stuff. And a lot of places, you're actually also paying for them, okay? That makes no sense. If he wants to be a hero for his family, that's wonderful. I'm not saying don't help your family. Definitely help your family. But this doesn't mean you pick up, he picks up his family and puts them on your head. So if he wants to take care of his family, then he needs to be able to provide for that, okay? He needs to get them a nurse. He needs to get them a separate home. They can live in the same neighborhood. If you're living in an apartment, they can live in the apartment above or the apartment below. But I have seen countless cases of in-law abuse happening to women where, your in-laws are literally treating you like a maid. Or, oh my God, I've heard so many cases where you are literally being treated like a maid, and then you are having to provide for them financially because you're doing 50-50 with your husband, and your share just went up because he moved his parents in. Explain that to me. That math is not mathing in my mind at all. He's bringing his family, his siblings, all of the drama that comes with that. Now you can't live the way you want to. You can't even be comfortable in your own home. They have a problem with everything you say and you do. They control how you raise your kids, and you're paying for them to be there? I do not understand this math at all. And I've heard so many cases of this. In my culture, this is very common. So please don't do this, okay? First of all, I believe that in-law relationships are preserved when you do not live together, okay? Love your in-laws, be there for them. But this doesn't mean that you have to be their maid, okay? My in-laws love me, they do not live with me. That's probably why they love me. If they lived with me and there were issues every single day and they had expectations and I had expectations, there would be a lot of problems. So I don't understand why, especially if they're living with you, why you have to pay their share. Okay, this is what men do when you pay 50-50, when you do transactions with them, because that need that they have to provide doesn't go away. So now that they're not providing for you, they want to provide for their parents. So how they provide for their parents, they move them in, conserve energy, and then your share goes up. Explain that to me. Oh my gosh, I was so mad. Like, the reason that I'm not like just screaming at you right now, at least I'm trying not to, is because I meditated. I try to calm myself down, and still I'm pissed. I don't understand this logic. The biggest mistake women in this third situation make is they start fighting with their husband. This is not going to give you the results, because now what you're doing is that you're putting him in the middle and it's you against him, and now he can't decide. Does he choose his birth family, the people that can manipulate him the most, the people that know him the most, the people that know exactly what buttons to push, or you, the newcomer, right? The one that looks like she's the problem because she doesn't want to be loving and kind and take care of his parents. Don't do that. Be savage. What you do is you love on his parents and you treat them with kindness, and you get him on your side, and then you tell him what you are not available for and what you're not going to do. Because the truth is, a lot of people will tell you, just run, just get out of the situation. But girl, if you run, you're going to be back in that situation because you haven't learned anything. You haven't learned anything. The next man, you're gonna trigger his predatory response just as well, because running doesn't teach you anything, okay? It doesn't teach you anything. You haven't learned any new skills of communicating. You haven't learned any new savage skills. You are still the same person, you just ran away. So don't run away, deal with the situation. This is your home. This is your husband. These are your children, okay? Get your husband on your team. Get yourself in a couple bubble, and then from there, you can decide. At the end of the day, honestly, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. This is my opinion. If I had to pay for my in-laws, they wouldn't be living with me. Worst case scenario. If I had to pay for them, I'd be like, well, if I'm happy to pay for them anyways, I'm gonna pay for them outside my home. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get them a studio apartment where they're gonna live. We can go check up on them every week. We can get them a nurse, because if I'm having to pay for them, then they have to live on my terms. Because if I'm paying for them and then still having to be their maid and still not be able to live the way that I want to in my home, that makes no sense. That makes no sense, okay? They were separate caves. Yes, we lived in tribes, but we had sovereignty over our children. We had sovereignty over our homes and our husbands and our lifestyles. So I believe in being kind to our parents and our in-laws and our families. Like, I believe in that, but I believe that it's easier to do that when you're not living together, because so many issues happen. Like, I knew this one guy, oh my God, in Chicago. He was having so many issues with his mother and his wife, because he had made the mistake of moving them all in the same house. And at the end of that, he was saying to us, he's like, Mina, I've come to realize that 2 women can share a man, but they cannot share a kitchen. And I thought that was hilarious, because their biggest arguments were over the kitchen and the dishes and all of this. Why would you want to invite that kind of turmoil in your life? Okay, don't fight with them. Get savage. Okay, use your feminine skills, use your feminine seduction skills, use your feminine communication skills. Okay, my 90-day relationship rehab course, my savage feminine course, all of these things can help you. But have emotional control. Stop paying men to date you or to marry you. I love you. I hope this finds you well. Remember, you are worthy of having your own life, your own home, being able to raise your children the way you want to. You get to have divine union. There's no price to pay. There's no price to pay. There's no like, I get to have everything, but like my nightlife is miserable because my mother-in-law won't let me do this, or I have to pay for my father-in-law. Like, that makes no sense. If he wants to provide, he needs to be able to do that, okay? You deserve to be fully provided for, taken care of, and you can use your money to help people if you want to help your in-laws, but that doesn't mean you have to be their maid, okay? I love you. Don't offer yourself up on a golden platter, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.